when the white wolf fought a silver-tongued devil. His army of elves at his hooves did they revel. They came after me with masterful deceit. They broke down my loot and they kicked in my teeth, while the devil's horns minced our tender meat. And so cried the witcher, he can't be bleed. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty, oh valley of plenty, oh. Toss a coin to your witcher, oh valley of plenty. At the edge of the world, fight the mighty horde that bashes and breaks you and brings you the morn. He thrust every yoke far back on the shelf, high up on the mountain from whence it came.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to some Wednesday night Witcher Family of Wraiths action, powered by our Tausorian Games and our sponsor Roll20. Roll20, our virtual tabletop of choice. If you are sheltering in place, if you are social distancing, the game doesn't have to end, my friends. Just go right now to www.roll20.net/start/Tales from the Grim, and you can start your very own free account. Get in there, create your virtual tabletop, make sure that everybody can continue the tale, continue the kind, continue the story, and that's how we win, my friends. And so tonight we are going to be diving back into the Witcher family of Wraiths. We are currently involved in one of the donated subplots, the Yennefer of Vengerberg subplot that was donated by Matt. And this one is going to see our friends go to Broccolon Forest. Hopefully today we'll see them enter into that mystical, magical place. How would you like to affect the narrative? There are several different ways you can do so, my friends. If you simply retweet our going live tweet, every time we reach 20, 30, or 40 retweets, it benefits the party, gets better and better and better. If you would like to directly influence what's going on, look straight down below me and you can see that there are donations that you can get into. If you would like to bring in Gontar O'Dim, the God himself, to aid or provide a favor or help the party in some way, I'm sure it'll never come back to bite them. We're not sure about that, but you may do so. And of course, if you would like to join the action, there is a way to take your own trial of the grasses, where you join for an individual flashback episode and then you join the party and the canon for at least one episode. We are getting ready. We have seen Hawks Ananias come in. We are getting ready for Matt's character, and I'm not going to spoil anything more about that one. As you saw in the preview, he's dope. Not much to say. Currently, all you need to know is the party is inside the living room of the party's resident mage, Anfra. They're talking to Yennefer of Vengerberg. She has asked them to go into Broccolon Forest and procure a sire bone knit for her. She is required to use this magical root to bring somebody back from the brink of death. At the end of last episode, she told us all that this particular person was someone from Wim, one of our characters, the School of the Bear Witchers past, by the name of Duke Aglaval. This person is going to die soon. The root needs to be procured for his mortality to be extended. But we'll see exactly how they do it, when they do it. All I know is I received a fantastic sketch from Carbon this week. So let's go over to the social screen. Well, hello, everybody. Let's go around and talk to everybody real quick. I want to know who you are, who you'll be playing, and are you ready to go into the forest, dark and deep? JF, who are you playing, my friend?
I'm playing Dusa of Gamera, Witcher turned knight, who's just rescued a countryman of his lost liege lord. Is he ready to go into the forest? He's got some issues, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Stories follow as the baggage of the party increases. Let's drop down to somebody who doesn't have any baggage whatsoever. Not like they have another entity living inside them. Josh, my friend, how are you? Who are you playing? And are you ready to go into the forest dark and deep?
Did you just call Tears baggage?
Nope. Excuse me? No, I didn't.
Good.
You have to look that. You have to look that. We'll have to roll that back, and you can see that I certainly did not do that.
Just checking.
I'll be over here, everybody.
Yeah, no, there's no problem. And I know where you live. So I'm going to be playing Aris of Gesso, who is a School of the Viper Witcher, who is totally super happy to have a sorceress telling him he has to go into the Broccolon, and there's no history there whatsoever. It's not going to come up. It's going to be super chill. Everything's fine.
I agree. It's a chill episode. I will retitle it. Let's jump over to Lindy. Lindy, my friend, how are you? Who will you be playing? And are you ready to go into the forest, dark and deep?
Yes, I'm doing super spiffy, even more so now that we're playing Witcher. I will be playing Yannicka, the elf healer. She is just the most pleasant, sociable person in the party. Just so much empathy and dexterity. Like you wouldn't believe. That's Yannicka. Super excited to go into Broccolon. I honestly think Yannicka doesn't really care. Broccolon's probably better than a lot of cities, so she's like, "All right, sure, Broccolon, let's go."
Right. It's a good approach. It'll serve her well. Let's jump up to Billy. Billy, my friend, how are you? And are you ready to go into the forest, dark and deep?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm very ready to go into the forest, dark and deep. If it's chill, awesome. If it's not chill, the inhabitants of that forest may find a big bad wolf, or a big bad bear, and it might be me. It might not be me. It could be a literal bear. Who knows? This is a game of adventure.
This is when the Morgan Freeman narrator comes in and goes, Billy was the bear. And let's go up to Prax, my friend. How are you? Who will you be playing? And are you ready to go into the forest, dark and deep?
I'm good. I'm playing Ainfra, our mage, and I think Broccolon has some improvements over like Novigrad and Oxenfurt at the moment, but I don't think anybody's ever ready to go into Broccolon. And if they are, they're lying to you.
I agree with all of that. My friends, let's make this as simple as can be. You are in the living room that you have just left. The reveal mere moments ago was that Yennefer of Vengerberg is going to be using the Sire Bone Knit found only in Broccolon Forest to continue the life of one Duke Aglaval, somebody that Wim has had in the past knowledge and an opinion of. But that was then. A proclamation was made. The deal being, if you, in Yennefer's stead, go into Broccolon, gain the Sire Bone Knit, she will give you information pertaining to your current quest, where she mentioned the name Ezekon of Kreve specifically. She knows things. She wants to share things, but she wants something in return. Mages. What do you do, my friends?
So Yennefer has just revealed this thing that's dear and impactful to me. So he'll look around at the group and Wim will go, I want to clear this with the team first, but I'm very much inclined to go. You can choose to follow, or you can stay here, but we all know it would be best if we go together.
Broccolon, Sure, why not? I'll go.
There's one. That's one. Jennifer.
I'll go with you. I'm going. I said I'd go.
Since she didn't tell me what the old man told her, I guess I'll come too.
Well, that leaves. And he looks over at his brother. Are you with us, or are you against us?
Nice way of putting it.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into that place. But I made you a deal that we'd stick together, so fine, I'm in.
If it'll sweeten the pot, I'll owe you a favor.
I don't want anything from you.
All right. Well, I had some acid on it, a little hurtful, but it's to be expected. Jennifer, looks like you've got yourself through to go into Brocklon Forest.
Fantastic. Are you ready?
Is everyone ready? You need time?
Give me 5 minutes. I'm gonna get some stuff. Don't blow up my house. And she just goes upstairs to get like just supplies that she would need, and another cloak, and then coming back down. She's kind of making sure that no one has had a knockdown, drag out fight in the middle of her house.
Dusa will reach for the rubbing alcohol, but he'll think better of it.
As that happens, Aris is going to go over to Dusa and say, "Can I have that sword back?"
Yeah, sure. Already got 4.
Yeah,
To you?
a bit excessive.
Yeah, what does it look like, by the way? Just wondering. Is it fancy? No? Yeah?
It's a
Greg
solid.
hasn't told me.
Yeah, it is a solid block blade, meaning that it is as wide at the hilt as it is towards the point. So it has a kind of a cleaver quality to it. It is double-edged, so you can tell that it has a getting to work side on both sides. But again, it holds that almost like a Final Fantasy VII Cloud type of appearance to it, obviously much smaller. But the hilt itself is easy. It doesn't have a sword catcher on it. It just has a regular crossbar with 2 knobs on the side of it. But each knob seems to depict an eyeball.
That's a strange one.
Yeah, well,
Where'd you get it?
the dead man.
That figures.
Yeah, well, one thing at a time. Do I know its name? Is it inscribed with its name in anywhere?
Make an awareness check for me.
Was that silver I saw come in? Or am I...
It is. Hawk has donated everybody, so you have your first round, maybe only round, of silver, so +2 to everybody's rolls for the remainder of the session.
Wonderful. Love, straight away, that is a 14 in category.
You don't see anything on it, but you hear in the back of your mind, it has a name. But no more.
Well, we'll see what it's like. I mean, if not, can always leave it here. Andra can use it to butter scones or whatever she does in her off time.
I don't think I need a sword 3 feet long to butter a scone.
Oh, you
Thank
came
you for the
downstairs
thought.
quick. I didn't even see you come back down. Sneaky.
Something I'm good at being.
What type of fresh fruit does Ainfra have in the house, if any?
It's the end of the season. Maybe apples on the table.
Yennefer would be eating one with her feet up.
As like Ainfra walks by, she's just gonna shove her boots off the table.
Are you all ready?
Hi.
Well then, good luck. And she begins to cast. As you are familiar with what a portal looks like, there's a couple differences. The hue color of Ainfra's portal would have more blues in it. As the portal casts by Yennefer, it has more of a yellow, orange, red tint to the edges. But otherwise, it's the same. And she gestures as soon as she completes the spell, and you see a field beyond, the smell of different smells, a different part of the world, just a step away.
Dusa would like to walk up to Yennefer. Say, you could tell me right now what he told you, and I could give you my word.
Yes, I could, and yes, you could, but I'm not.
Dusa, it's a little rude to hold the portal this long. And Ainfra's just kind of looking at the rest of them to go.
Yennefer's eyes are locked with Deuce's, though, and she's just smiling as she holds the spell. Slight smile.
Aris is in no rush to move through the portal. He's a gentleman. People can go before him.
Wim will go in.
Yeah, Annika too. She just makes sure that there's at least one Witcher ahead of her before she goes through the portal.
And after a brief struggle with himself, Dusa will turn around and go in.
Ainfra would look back at Yennefer and say, "Don't make a mess, and don't blow it up."
When have I ever?
That's true. But I figure I'd start early. And then she just walks out the door.
Aris will walk over to the portal. Pause. Would you like me to list it alphabetically or categorically, chronologically? You've left plenty of messes.
Those seem like stories of the past. Are you a historian?
No. But the history I read isn't on paper. Thanks to you, it's carved into stone. And I walk through.
As soon as your boot heel crosses the threshold of the portal, it snaps shut. As you all turn and look in the direction from which used to be the house, the living room, the rubbing alcohol, as you turn around 180 degrees, instead you see a massive forest. For those of you that have not gazed in the physical flesh upon Broccolon Forest, it is expansive from your current position to the east and to the west. It is the world entire. To the south of you is a rolling field. You can see streams that try to hint and grab at the light provided by the sky. It is early morning, 10. The time here the same as it would have been back in the home of Ainfra. Sky is no further along in its trip, but before you lies Broccolon Forest. And I'm going to ask Wim to roll a wilderness survival check for me, please. Wim, as you look at the forest ahead of you, it's the silhouettes upon the edge where you can see in for 10, 20 feet. You can see that the vegetation, even at this distance, which is 300 yards, you can see that it is incredibly lush, incredibly packed, dense, and that the vegetation itself is from various areas of the continent, from the extreme south to the east, to the far north, to the Isles of Skellige. You see that there is vegetation representative of every place that you may have visited, read about, or heard of. But in addition to that, there are colors and representations and styles of flower and plant you've never seen. And as you stare, you hear animal calls and bird whistles. Many you recognize, but just like the vegetation, many of them are different or foreign or new. And as you gaze and take in all of this as an expert in such things of nature's presentation, you hear a very real voice in your ear, the breath touching the lobe. Remember the old ways. Remember the honor you gave us. And it is the voice of Brilar.
He'll try to scan the area and look around. He'll also put his hands back and try to prevent everyone from moving past him. But he'll try to visually spot Brilar.
Make me another awareness check, or make me another check, this time awareness, please. Is that with or without your silver that Hawk gave you?
That's with the 2.
With the 2? Okay. So you're looking around and you're gazing upon the ground, looking for perhaps a glint of something in the forest, something to give away the Elven Ranger's position. You don't see anything, but as you're looking, you hear a cry in the air above you, and as you look up, you see a red hawk flying through the air. It circles twice and then heads into the forest.
He turns to the rest of the crew. These are Elven woods. We must respect the old ways.
Have to watch out for archers.
Well, if we honor the old ways, from my experience, regardless of what happens, we'll be fine. So, it is customary to my knowledge to... And he rips off a strip of cloth from his shirt and begins to tie it around his head. To walk in, much like this. Don't draw your weapons. They may harass you, but under no circumstances. Pull this blindfold off.
Just gonna walk in there blindfolded?
Yeah?
All right.
Dusa, roll me a deduction.
Okay. Deduction. What is that even under? I never used it. It's intelligence?
It is, yes.
Yes. Oh, Lord. Oh, that's a bad deduction. That's a fumble.
That's an addition.
There you go. It's an addition. It's a 5.
As Wim is telling you this, Dusa, you look at the forest, taking in the comments that you have just made. There's something about the forest that isn't right. You can't put it together, though. There's
something wrong.
Can you deduce anything that might be wrong?
Care to elaborate?
I don't know what it is. I don't know. There's something. He says, looking towards the forest. Sniffing.
Yonica, I'm getting this right.
Yeah.
It's not just me.
If you're wrong, I would have corrected you.
I just wanted you to say something so everyone didn't look at me and think I was an idiot for walking into the forest blindfolded.
I mean, you guys have to.
Yannicka,
That's fair.
if you have tactics, please roll it.
If I have tactics. I don't have tactics, but I have a lot of int.
Then just roll tactics and it'll not add anything for the stat.
Cool. 20.
It's
Damn good roll.
a really good roll when you don't have a stat for it. Lindy, as Yannicka is looking around, you can realize, and this isn't necessarily, again, no agency taken from you, but this isn't something that would be surprising. There are eyes everywhere. You can feel them in the forest. The birds, the wind, everything seems to be maneuvering you all toward a specific entry point in the forest. It's incredibly subtle, but you're able to pick up on the fact that like the land sort of slopes towards a specific area. And this entry point is loosely defined by two massive pine trees, pines that have no business growing to the height at which they've attained, but you can see that just the lay of the land, everything about this natural moment is hurting you to that point.
Yep, blindfolds on. Go in, the forest will guide us.
All right. Look at Eris.
Sure, why not?
Less likely to get shot. Or worse.
But you don't have to wear one, right? So you can let us know.
Yeah, Yannicka's an elf and a very much a follower of the old ways, so.
Alright. Aris will reach in, pull out sort of like a handkerchief, tie it around him.
Just will take his scarf and do that as well.
Eris, roll me a human perception, please.
No problem. It's what I specialize at.
I knew it.
Yeah.
We call him human perceiving Eris for a reason.
Yeah, that's it. It's really
It's right next to Dedusa.
Billy calling his shots tonight. Just
Oh, Jesus. Okay, that is my second roll of the evening and my second critical
Oh my
fail.
god.
Get them all now. Get them all out now.
That's it.
I'm at -4 with a +2.
Oh.
as you pull the blindfold that you have made up and tie it into place, you would hear the voice in your mind, the voice of tears, and it says something, but it seems to be from a distance. It doesn't seem to be as close or as near or as present as you're used to it. And the voice simply says, "He follow."
Yannicka,
What?
you mind if I take my blindfold off before we go in?
Yeah, as long as you have it on for when we go in.
I take it off.
Just put it on. Like,
Yeah.
we haven't walked yet or anything.
Take a look around.
Roll me an awareness.
I'm gonna pull mine down if that's what I hear.
We can't go in until everyone has them on, so.
Okay, there we go.
I have either no attention or all of the attention.
So how this plays out narratively, Josh, is as Eris kind of pulls down his blindfold and turns in the indication, perhaps behind you or wherever, that you're looking, for a moment, even though it's 10 in the morning, you see that kind of mid-morning glow. It's kind of bouncing down among the long field grass. And for a moment, you see a silhouette cast against those golden strands of field grasses and rolling hills. And you would hear Tears' voice. I sense him most at sunset, but he is here often. He is sad, very sad, but also very, and you hear a pause, proud, but not of your accomplishments. He is proud of each of you as beings. Even me, I think. And for a moment you see Ezekon of Kreve. And then he's gone.
What's going on, Iris?
Nothing. He folds up the handkerchief again.
Just
and
taking the wide open space before we get into the forest. Just all you can.
Sure.
All right, let's go.
Ainfra has been just kind of breathing deeply and listening, but not really paying attention while this whole conversation has been going on. And she takes a moment before she leaves, smirks, and bowl pitches the two heads that she's been carrying around out of her bag and just leaves them in the middle of this field.
Yeah.
Roll me a leadership.
Me? Okay. I have nothing in this stat, but we'll see what happens.
Well, you have 2 tonight. Okay.
15.
With a 15, you can feel the eyes of Broccolon turn to you when you set the heads down. You can identify specific vantage points. You can identify how a number, just a presence. And the forest looks, and I need you to roll me a courage.
It's a 20.
You're able to match its gaze. This place that has stood against monsters and men, empires and colonizers, should have fallen centuries ago, this place. And yet it still stands, the last true creature of the old worlds, of the convergence. It lives, it breathes, and its name is Broccolon. And it is waiting.
There's probably a red deer stag here.
There's all sorts of things here. Yeah.
Red deer stag.
Don't even think about trying to hunt anything here. Just
How do you all eat then?
usually hunter-gathering, but you're not a local, so we've got rations. And once everyone has their blindfolds on, Yannicka will start leading everyone to those 2 pine trees.
Yannicka, you would see the course of the forest growing in front of you. The rest of you, it's more of, for those of you that are trained in the wilderness, all of you have traveled, but you could feel the wind break as the wind gets closer to these large trees. You could feel the change in smells of temperature as first you are in the sun of mid-morning, and then you are in the cast and shadow, the twilight, the eternal twilight of Broccolon. And as you walk in, Yannicka, you see that the first 10 steps are full of thorny undergrowth, but as soon as you hit that 11th pace, that 11th step, it opens into a path of pressed needles.
she will take the lead now, looking over her shoulder, doing the head count check every so often, but she will guide the way.
I'd like you to roll me 3 awareness checks, Yannicka.
Okay. No wilderness survival checks? Oh,
Just awareness here.
1, 2,
Nice.
3.
You go into the forest and you hear movement. Again, this is similar to what Wim experienced before, where you hear the cries and the bird whistles, but there's no bird or animal to see make the cry or the whistle. You're inside an organism. Broccolon is alive, but it's not giving away its children. It's not showing you. This is a true forest. This is the forest of old. This is one of the convergence, one that lives with instead of against. And as you take your steps along the path, the rest of you would feel the crunch of needles beneath your feet. You would feel the cool and the smells of damp earth inside Broccolon. Do any of you say anything as you go in through this first leg?
Medusa. It's beautiful, he says without seeing it.
Yeah, she definitely looks over her shoulder to make sure he's still got it on. She'll say, yes, very scenic. But that's it.
You continue down, and as you proceed past what would be the first ring of the forest, the outer bulwark, I guess, you would go in, and Yannicka, with your second roll of 22, you would notice that upon this ring, there are several skeletons, still some wearing mail and armor, that are nailed to the great oaken trees with arrow shafts at least a meter long. These large, sometimes almost spear-like arrows. One of the skeletons seems to have no fewer than 12 shafts holding it up. They are all nailed to the trees, all facing toward the way that you came in. Do you say anything, or?
No.
With a roll of 22, I will let you know as you pass one that is close by, a medallion of a cat dangles around its neck.
She'll make a mental note of that.
You proceed deeper. It gets cooler, it gets darker. And you begin to hear the sounds of water. You're not sure if it's falling, if it's running, if it's pooling, if it's even there. You can hear it. It's part of the music, part of the melody, the hymn of Broccolon. And with your final roll of a 16, you don't hear the approach of the archers, but you do feel the point of a broadhead arrow as it's placed against the side of your head. And you hear the of the bow. Why
She's not surprised.
Why are you here?
Oh, shit.
Does he say that? Does Eris say, oh, shit?
Yeah. Yeah, he does. Just, oh, shit.
She'll say, the elf Khalid. He and some Scoia'tael are gonna come here to help with the problem. He's currently in a deep sleep. We're here to help instead.
Who was the one that brokered such a deal?
And gonna gesture the large one, because I mean I assume Wim just kind of towers, like just in girth and height.
Wim and Dusa are about the same size, I believe.
I'm
Okay.
an inch shorter, but girthier.
But Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
imagine. Just like there's a tall one, and then there's like a
Yeah, things
brick
orbit you.
house.
Okay. So
Goes by whim.
you would hear another voice off and kind of at an 11 o'clock to your field of vision, Yannicka. This one doesn't carry the same sing-song, and a human female reveals herself. Take off your blindfolds.
Don't do it. When will instinctively, the second she's done saying that, don't do it. It's a trap.
Yannicka, you would see the woman smile, and she begins to walk forward.
I think she'd have a little smile too. Whim's good reaction.
The dryad beside you is wearing nothing but the green skin that kind of blends into the forest of Broccolon. A few bands of leather holding a quiver of arrows into place. Again, these long shafted arrows. The dryad steps back, and even out of your periphery, knowing very well that they're there, you begin to see them blur just 4 or 5 feet away from you, almost as if Broccolon is taking them back. But the human female walks forward. Well, how will you get forward without being able to see?
We've done it before. We'll find a way.
It would be much easier if you could see.
Yeah. But that's what I reckon the old ways are about.
You are inside the kingdom of Queen Ethnin. What if she were to grant you your sight?
And she alone would
No,
have that power.
I act as her voice.
I've only done this once before. But I will not be tricked until I can ensure the safety of everyone here. And it's out of respect for you and the Oways, of which I do not completely know every fine detail. But I'm not going to put their lives at risk for a test.
Well, I guess then we are going to have to see if you are worthy. You have to see your hearts. And she whistles into the woods. And Yannicka, you would see another dryad drop down. Again, not wearing any type of traditional clothing, but having a very ornate headdress on, but it's made of all natural items of twisted vine and coupleberry, of seemingly perfect flowers and buds of those not yet bloomed. And she moves forward, and you see her reaching for Whim. And the human female looks at you and smiles.
I imagine it's been about a century or so, century and a half since Yannicka's been to Broccolon. It's been a long time, but does this seem normal?
No.
The fact that there's a human here seems already odd. And the fact that the Dryads are listening to her seems odd. I don't think she'll interfere with the Dryads. But she'll turn and give this lady a look. A questioning look.
She winks.
Ew.
Whim, you would feel the press of a almost too warm hand against your recently shorn cheek. You do anything?
I try to control my body so that any reaction is minimal.
You see it and feel it as it kind of carries in a flesh-on-flesh drag up towards your blindfold.
He'll slowly take a finger and kind of gently, like, stop it.
You feel a hand reaching up on the other side of your face, again, trailing to go towards the blindfold.
And he'll do the same thing with care and no hostility at all, just kind of like gently kind of sweeping the hands away.
You would hear the voice then finally from in front of you, but it seems to come from a deep cave. I need to see your eyes. It is not dishonorable.
From what I understand of your ways, we leave the blindfolds on until we reach our destination.
Those whose hearts are blind to us must remain blind. If I can see, so can you.
If you really wish to see my heart, are there any dogs nearby?
You hear a sharp, just kind of of breath, but you don't know what that is because you can't see her face. There are no dogs nearby. But the hands go from the blindfold, again tracing flesh on flesh down your cheeks, and instead you feel them begin to move between that space of raised breastplate, moving towards your chest, flesh on flesh still.
Whim's fine with that.
You feel the hands kind of maneuver until the fingers are going down the top of the plate and through kind of around the arm cut by the armpit over your chest, and you feel almost like a pinch from above and to the side of where your heart would be. I need you to make a courage check for me, please. You smell something burning, and you realize it's the blindfold. Do you do anything?
Can I? I mean, I'd rather remain calm than freak out and try to put out my face.
It's 100% up to you how you react to it, but you can definitely feel from the heat and the smell that it is your blindfold that is on fire. If you're remaining as still as you can?
Yes, but I want to also, once the blindfold is burned, so beneath the blindfold, I'll have my eyes closed.
You feel it burn away, but it does no damage nor heat. You do smell burning hair, but you know that your hair hasn't gone up in flame. It probably just captured a few stray follicles. And you hear the voice, this time speaking as if the lips and the mouth were at your jaw, at your chin, and Yannicka, you could see that they are. As the Dryad has moved and kind of looking up at the larger Whim. You know the old ways, and you carry the love of an elf, though perhaps neither of you know it. Your heart is true. You may enter whenever you wish. Enter and see. And she pulls back.
And then he'll respond with, "Thank you." And then he'll open his eyes.
You would see the dryad, you would see Broccolon, you would see the human female carrying the bow, dressed more like a hunter than perhaps an elf or a dryad. And you would see this dryad that just worked with you move over to your brother.
They're all with me, and I'll vouch my heart on any one of them.
Your heart, I would believe. But are they really with you? And she turns in front of Eris. Eris, you would feel a hand on your jaw. It begins to travel up towards your blindfold. To see the forest, I must see your heart.
My knife or yours?
The blindfold begins to lift.
He closes his eyes.
Yannicka and Wim, you would see as soon as the blindfold comes off, instead of being burned, it's simply dropped to the ground. But this time, instead of placing the hand in that pincer around the heart, you see the dryad take each of her fingers and place them beside the temples of the closed eyes of Eris, kind of cupping with thumb beneath his chin. Roll me a courage check, Eris.
I'm gonna spend some luck on this.
Okay.
Courage is...
Oh,
it is will, thank
yeah, will,
God.
yeah.
I was gonna say, please be willpower.
Please don't be empathy.
That is a 14. God damn.
And that's with your 2 silver as well?
With my 2 silver.
Okay.
Rolled a 2 on the dice.
The hands that you feel, Eris, are cold. Very cold. Almost cadaver-like. And you would hear, "Your passenger is not permitted within Broccolon. She was cursed before she fell. Hers is a sunken light, a nightmare reflected in a well mouth. Keep her inside you, and leave when this is done." She steps away.
Eris shivers slightly but says nothing. Keeps his eyes closed.
You would see, Yannicka and Wim would see a move over to Dusa. Dusa, you would feel the dryad's hands on your jawline, moving from chin up to your blindfold, your scarf. What do you do?
He'll eventually just be startled, I guess, and raise his hand up to the hand just to see what it is, and he'll say, "Papa Bear? What's going on?"
I need to see your heart so you can see.
All right.
Roll me a courage check, please.
Courage. Not my actual heart.
We'll see.
All right. Courage is under. Let's see here. It's under
Will.
Here we go. What's that? What is it? It's a 16. He steals his jaw.
Do you allow the scarf to be lifted off of you? It seems that to be her intent as she begins to kind of move around your hands to lift elements of the fabric away from where you have it placed.
Yeah.
And again, anybody else that's watching, Yannicka and Wim, you would see that the scarf is pulled off and dropped to the ground into the needles of Broccolon. And as soon as the scarf is lifted and removed, those who are watching, Dusa, if your eyes are open, you would see the Dryad's eyes open a bit, and the hands that are on your cheeks still grow very warm. And she moves around you and looks at your back and says, "You carry the dream in a scabbard and in your heart. You may seek admittance at any time, Knight of Rhilestilen."
I'll bow his head. Thank you.
She moves away and heads towards the mage. Ainfra, you would feel hands from your chin tracing up your jaw, reaching for the blindfold.
She doesn't stop them, she just leaves it. And she keeps her eyes closed.
There is no warning then. Roll me a courage.
This could go good or bad. 20. That went well.
The blindfold is pulled free. Whether your eyes are open or not, she immediately says, "Broccolon prevents the use of transportation magics, portals, or any other means of arcane conveyance. We cannot have our enemies appearing wherever they please." And then she takes in both Ainfra and Eris. Your presence here is temporary. When your task is concluded, so is your welcome.
I thank you for your kind hospitality.
She steps back and her last gaze drifts to Yannicka. And she simply says, "Go in peace, child of the elves."
She'll just give a slight respectful bow.
The human female steps forward.
Question: is this human female blonde?
Just so happens to be, yeah.
Thought so.
If you are here then to take care of the agreement that we have set upon, the Saya bone knit is available to you. However, we have 2 intruders that are currently inside this forest. Both of them must be spoken to or dealt with. That is, of course, your job. There are we believe to be a family of ogres that have come into Broccolon Forest. They are, as of yet, strangely docile. They have not killed, they have not desecrated any of the plant life. They have burned fuel that they have brought themselves. The campfires they make are surprisingly respectful. Yet they are moving closer towards the bone-knit garden. We cannot have that. Ogres want to take more than they can. These 3 seem to be determined. The second intruder we have sent hunters to intercept, but they have never returned, so we stopped sending them. We do not know what it is, but it too is headed for the bone knit. It seems popular this time of the year. She points
So
down.
you would like us?
No, go right ahead, bud.
So you'd like us to deal with both of them?
Yes.
Have the ogres been moving with intent?
They are moving through the lowlands, keeping clear of the water, drinking only what they brought, eating only what they brought, but they move with a surefire purpose towards the bone-knit garden.
Sounds surprisingly respectful for ogres.
They are unlike any we have ever seen.
You've not tried negotiating with them?
We almost did, but we are afeard of a trap, and so we will bring in you to spring it for us.
So negotiation preferred. If a trap, then deal with them.
Precisely.
Right.
Point us in a direction.
She steps aside, and the golden pine needle path creeps out into Broccolon. And without need for a roll, you can all see that it is being dropped about 100 yards in front of you. And every time you take a step, you see more of this path being built as you move. There are a couple things. Your magics are dulled here in Broccolon. Do not drink the water. Do not touch the water, or you will never leave. If you do, you won't want to.
I almost don't want to leave now.
For a second, the human ranger looks over at you, Dusa. If that's, you say that out loud?
Yeah, he says it kind of, just like that.
You have a destiny, Knight of Rhilestilen. What a wonderful and terrible thing to have.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out more about it.
You said there were 2 intruders.
The second we know nothing about. There are the 3 ogres and another thing.
How fast is it moving?
Faster than the ogres.
That one sounds more pressing.
Yeah.
But both aim to convene at the bone knit, so if they're guiding our path, then let's follow this. Will this path take us to the ogres first, or closer to the unknown?
It will take you in the direction of the bone-knit garden. I will leave it in your capable hands. As I said, do not drink or touch the water. Do not kill anything to eat. Do not take any of the plants. Leave it as you found it. But remove what shouldn't be here.
And then if there are any animals that attempt to attack us, we'll do the best we can to make sure we don't kill them.
They will not attack you. Not now.
Good. And if everyone else is good, let's go. Let's head to the Bonet. Thank you for your time and hospitality.
He smiles. Enjoy your stay.
And when we'll start walking in the direction of the golden needles.
They lead you deeper into Broccolon, and within a few steps, if you turn back to look, the human female is still there, but there are no signs of any of the dryads that were there, though the presence in the eyes still itch at the back of your mind.
Aris reaches up, puts a hand on the hilt of his new sword, looks to his brother, slowly cracks open one eye as if like he can fool the forest. If he just sort of like sneakily has a look around and we good?
Yeah. We're always good, even when we're not.
Wonderful. And he will free the blade and alright. I get a feeling I'm not exactly welcome here, so we should probably chop chop. No offense, he says, looking around, suddenly nervous towards the trees.
There's a bird whistle, but you're not sure if that has anything to do with what you've just said. You're all able to move away, and this is a stunning place. It rolls in slight hills. Everything is captured in shadow and golden light that dances through the thick canopy. And inside here, you see trees and vegetation existing beside one another that shouldn't. Low flowering shrubs that should have been suffocated by the large oak trees above them, but they seem healthy and pale. You travel deeper in, you seem to have the woods to yourself. I simply need to know how you are walking, who is walking in what order for no reason whatsoever, and anything else you'd like to be doing.
I think Wim would be at the front.
Yana could be right behind him.
Okay.
She's got some good wilderness survival skills, so she's trying to help.
Okay. I'll go behind Yannicka. If that's fine.
Then I'll take the rear and cram Ainfra between Deucer and I.
Is that good with everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll cross this out. I had Ainfra out on point. I had Ainfra.
No.
Ainfra would like to like leave the path and like go stealth.
Right. Out of eyesight, out of earshot, right. All right, so as you are all walking through here, I will let you know, as the benevolent DM that I am, that you are going to have some time to talk amongst yourselves. The journey is going to take several hours to get and catch up to wherever these two parties happen to be. I will allow you to remain vigilant. I will ask that anybody that wishes to do so may at any time roll an awareness or a wilderness survival. Awareness to see your current surroundings, wilderness survival to look for paths or tracks. Those may be called whenever you wish to use them. I will assume that you are all not just completely oblivious to your surroundings, and so if I ask for one, I'll call for it. But otherwise, those are your options. Anything else you want to do, of course you can, but those are the two that can be spammed, so to speak.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, Dusa would definitely go up to one of the dryads and say, if do you have a red deer stag here?
I will say, yeah, just before you all pull out, you can still see that there are elements of these dryads in the woods and everything. And at the mention of the stag, you would simply, it's not necessarily a laugh, but it sounds like a wind chime. And you understand it to be a laugh somehow, as it kind of clinks and filters through the woods. And it's followed with an, "Oh yes."
If you see one, could you send it my way? I just want to see it. He's kind of meek.
You hear again that clinking, that wind chime quality to the laughter, and instead of, you see them, they completely disappear even from your enhanced sight, Dusa. But whether meant to reach your ears, all likely, probably, but spoken from one to a neighbor, you would hear a dryad say, "Oh, I like that one."
Roll seduction then. No, just kidding.
Do it.
Just bow respectfully. Yes. Trying to fill those shoes.
Very good. So yeah, you all are traveling through the forest of Broccolon. If there's a way to have a sense of ease or peace, again, not taking agency from you, but that's the prevailing, it's almost like a hike. You don't sense danger whatsoever. Those of you like Dusa who are seasoned hunters, you don't see any type of predatory animals that were either on this path or paralleling you or anything that might speak of a natural danger. It's peace.
Wim will kind of turn to Yannicka. That unknown party they were talking about, it dispatched a whole troop of elf scouts.
Yeah. It's not good.
No. I can't even think of anything that can do that.
I can think of a couple things. Dragon. Other large, dangerous monsters.
Maybe
Catechin, maybe?
Nilfgaard's taken to bear cavalry. And he kind of says that kind of seriously, but kind of as a joke. And then he looks at your reaction.
You do get a laugh out of her just because it's so. She's not expecting it whatsoever. I'd like to see Nilfgaard try to ride a bear. That would be. Comical's not the right word. There'd be a lot of injuries. Entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me know if you see anything. I'll do the same.
Yeah, keep your eyes open. I'll look at the forest. Guess you've got better Witcher danger senses.
That's what they're called.
Is that the technical term? I got it right.
If she's rolling wilderness survival, I would also like to roll either an awareness or Witcher training to
Give me
on unusual.
Yeah, I'll take a Witcher training here to kind of augment the wilderness survival.
Okay.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Let me go back to the first menu with the crit.
34. Okay, so you all are maybe half hour, 45 minutes into your walk here. And it's not on the pine needles, the pine needle path that you're on, because if your vision is actually telling you the truth and this isn't some type of illusion, this is being generated as you walk. It's not something that has been here for a while. But just off of the pine needle path, Yannicka, you would see several sets, 3 in total, huge footprints, all kind of surrounding the path. And as soon as Wim is kind of, his attention drugged to where you're looking, Wim, you would know them immediately as being the size of the giant kin of an ogre. And the thing that kind of sets it off is this isn't a sandal and it's not a bare foot. It is a massive boot print. It has a heel. It is cobbled. But it is the size of an ogre print.
Do ogres usually wear boots?
Yeah, these ogres are wearing boots. None that I've seen, but they are slightly smarter than your average bear.
Yeah, suppose so.
Something that's popped in the back of your head is if they are slightly smarter than your average bear, then with great power they can be domesticated. So if these are properly armed and armored, We need to have our wits about us.
Let's hope they're friendly.
Most of them are.
Most.
They just don't be mean, I suppose. At least not right away. This is not bode well. And then so this is broken from the path. Can we follow these prints?
They still seem to be headed in the same direction as your path. They're just, the prints are on either side of the path. It seems that your pine needle magical carpet is covering and creating a path as it goes. So these are kind of underneath it and off to the side. Still in the same direction, though.
We can stick to the path. It looks like they're going the same place. I'll keep my eye on them.
Right. I think that'd be wise. They don't move terribly fast, and there is that other threat to worry about.
And then, yeah.
This reminds me of that time we were tracking that troll. The rock troll.
You're not horribly dissimilar.
Yeah, but this time I can't open a door and have the rock troll and his hag accompanying the child just waltz through the Nilfgaardian lines.
Yeah, no magic.
Oh, I can do magic, I just can't do that right now.
Oh. But I mean, in the forest, we're not allowed, right?
Use magic. Just can't teleport.
I see. Okay.
No transportation magic.
All right.
Just a sense of security, I appreciate it.
And then when we'll try to continue going down the path, keeping focus on the trail, the booted ogre prints, and then trying to keep another eye out for any sort of inconsistencies with nature, like any sort of exposed tracks.
Very good. You continue to walk, continue to remain observant as everyone is kind of looking either at the ground ahead or the forest around. Eris, you would hear in your head, "Am I cursed?"
Stealing back slightly, just dropping back just a touch more so he can speak, or he can whisper in reply without being overheard. He says, "We both are."
If we're cursed, how do we get to our star? You can't see it, but you can feel the sadness.
Together. One way or another.
There's a long pause, but you know that she's still there. Did I curse you?
No. Was cursed a long time before I was born.
You'd feel a tear on your cheek, Eris, but it's not yours. And that's where we're going to take our break, everybody. Everyone, go hydrate, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. We'll see you soon here in the forest of Rhilestilen. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to a little Witcher Wednesdays here on Tales from the Grim. We have a great cast telling a fantastic story, and we are deep in the forest of Broccolon under a mission from Yennefer of Vengerberg, as she would like somebody to go in, procure some sire bone knit. A contract has been reached with the Dryads to go in. They have 2 sets of invaders. One of them one set appears to be 3 ogres, the other a mystery. If our group can take care of both of them, then by hook or by crook, they can get their sire bone net returned to Yennefer for fortunes, fables, and jewels untold. But that is then, this is now. We are almost in there, and let's see. Yep, no sleep till Broccolon. Let's do it. As we go into the forest, I'll let you all know you're following the path. You are looking around, but let's dive back into Eris just for a second, as that lingering moment of the tear on your cheek, as you can feel this profound sadness from the wraith inside you, of the wraith known as Tears, as she is contemplating the words that were delivered by the Dryad that she was cursed, maybe even before the state that she's currently in. Roll me an awareness, Josh.
Okay. It'll either be great or terrible. There will be no middle ground.
There we go. That's
Okay.
pretty close to great.
As the wind picks up a bit here in Broccolon, again, it's that perfect temperature, that perfect mixture, the shadows, even of now midday, you can see the golden coming through, and all of the wind and the breeze and the movement of air carries with it wet earth and pine, except for a second. And for that second, Eris, you smell the sea, and then it's gone.
What are you searching for?
You can see, as you look at your palm, her palm rise out of your flesh for a second.
I mimic the gesture, so her hand falls back within my hand. Not here.
Okay.
We don't get to walk through places like this. Okay?
Because we're cursed.
Yeah.
We belong together.
Well, we sure as hell don't belong here. We've got to stick together. Okay?
There's no gesture, but you can sense that she is looking at Ainfra, just like she belongs with him.
Maybe.
You feel a certainty from inside of you, a certainty that does not originate with you.
He really wants to say something, and she'd probably be able to sense that. But he keeps it internal, and just sort of compensates by taking a lot of time to like check the tracks behind us, and doing a full sweep to make sure we're not being followed, which he knows we are being followed, but at the same time is looking around, expecting it to be something unnatural, something that doesn't belong here. But really, he's just trying to keep his mind off of whatever it is he's currently pondering.
She senses again, you have a very synergistic relationship, symbiotic relationship with her, in that even feelings and gestures don't need to be articulated as much as decided upon for the intent of it to be known by the other. But you can tell she's incredibly conflicted. And when she retreats, when she kind of leaves you to it, and you can feel her beginning to do that. But just before she leaves, you hear her say, "I will get us both uncursed." And then she's gone. She's not gone. She's just quiet.
Yeah, withdrawn. In these moments, he's never entirely sure if she is sort of like switching off, if she can like phase him out, or is able to sort of like push him back, and isn't listening. So he doesn't know if she can hear what he's saying, but he just quietly says to her, or to himself perhaps, actually no, he's not gonna say it. Fuck, damn it, god damn you, Aris, sort your shit out. Fucking god, he's the worst.
And the quiet of Broccolon acts as a third-party member for Eris and Tears, as nothing is spoken. Paul, my friend, I saw some fantastic donations come in. Please let me know what you would like to do. I can, with 20, how do you like that silver? Guide me, my friend. The rest of you are going through, and you have been traveling now for the better part of 2 hours, as midday has turned into early afternoon. Is there anything you would like to do upon your approach? With your wilderness roll, Yannicka, you can tell that the prince identified as being booted ogres from Whim, they're getting deeper and fresher.
Okay.
You're closing.
No signs of anything else, though?
You don't see anything else.
Okay.
But I'll let you know this. You can notice that the pace of the ogre stops every once in a while, and it seems as if they're kind of circling something as you see them kind of fan around in almost like a circular shape. There's nothing that seems to catch their attention on the ground, but at the same time, you notice that pattern repeat itself pretty frequently.
She'll mention that to the Witchers, because they probably know more about ogre behavior than she does.
Paul, I can give you 2 more silvers, which would give the party a total of +6 to their rolls for this session, and in conjunction with what Hawkeye has given. And that would leave you with the ability to call in either Gaunter O'Dim, or if you look down, a certain elven rebel. If there's something down there that looks like you would like to activate it, let me know, my friend, and I will make sure we give you exactly what you want. I do like the idea too of you could just bring in the Wild Hunt, and then we could do. I'll even give you a silver and the Wild Hunt. Think about it. Chat, help Paul out. See what we would like to do here. And Paul has the final decision, obviously.
As the Viper who is in the forest with a sorceress, please no. Please no. I'm having flashbacks.
NPCs are cool, though.
Try to assess how far away these ogres are. How is it imminent? Imminent?
They're closer, yeah. Tracks are deeper.
I'll get a Quen going.
Okay.
Put that 5 stamina into that.
You're able to snap it around you as you can feel the protective magics of the sign take hold.
Nice.
Let's see. Did anybody else roll me? I know that we had
Oops.
Yannicka do a wilderness survival. Anybody want to do an awareness for me?
I did one. I got a 17 on mine.
I haven't made one yet, so I don't mind making one if need be.
Okay.
Would this
Is it-
be in addition to?
Yeah, those were earlier. We've progressed a little bit further into.
Okay.
Is
Go
it
ahead
a
then.
wilderness survival or Witcher training?
I would like an awareness at this point. The wilderness survival is to identify and follow the tracks. I will take, and the Witcher training was able to identify what the tracks were. With wilderness survival, I can give you a little bit more about the tracks. Awareness gives you more about your surroundings.
I'll go for a wilderness. I'm keeping an eye out already, so I feel like
Try the Witcher. Witcher training.
Do you get like retired Witcher training? Is that a thing? That'd be amazing. Oh,
I don't think it would.
Brosif.
The rolls tonight, it's feast or
People at
famine
front
time.
are doing pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh man, I got a crappy roll.
We're like wilderness survival and awareness. You say?
So that's a 37 for you, right, Billy, with awareness?
Shit.
Yep, I am enlightened as a motherfucker.
You are Connor McLeod at the end of Highlander. I know everything. I am everything. Okay, as you are looking around, in conjunction with everybody else's, Eris, you see the same footprints, the same kind of circular pattern. It's a loose pattern to them. You don't identify anything else other than they are booted. And as everyone kind of like takes their time to inspect where here, there's a slight rise to the hill, and then it appears that the forest opens a bit, and Billy, Wim is the first one to smell smoke.
So he'll immediately turn around, smoke that way. And can I discern, like campfire smoke? Are they cooking anything?
Oh.
Like what kind of scents are on this smoke?
Oh, with that crit, I will tell you this: it's an oil smoke. You can smell that kind of that tinge, that fuel base to it.
It's
like
wood.
lamplight.
It's not wood.
It's daytime, right? Will they be burning oil? Sounds like they're up to something.
Paul, I see your request. One more silver, the GOD, and an Elven Rebel. If that's what you'd like, my friend, that's what you get. Legion, thank you very much for helping Paul. Take it from there. Everybody, we are running our PDF of the Witcher Core Rulebook. Please, if you want a chance to win it, ! PDF in chat. Automatically enters you. It's a great, great book. Alrighty, so, Billy, yeah, Wim would be able to say that to everybody else, and you can tell that it's coming from this clearing up ahead.
And then he'll kind of start heading in that direction. There's a clearing up ahead. That's where it's coming from.
Maybe it's those ogres lighting one of their fires.
Could be. But
Said they brought fuel with them.
They did.
Never said it was lumber.
it's one way to find out.
I'll scout ahead if you want.
It's,
I'll join you circling the other way if you want.
I'll remain at the edge of the clearing in case they discover you. I'll make myself aware as to not surprise them. Initiate dialogue at that point in time. We don't want them getting hostile. Ogres can do a bit of damage.
Yeah, well, you know. Sure, we'll be fine. As they say, they seem awfully civilized. We're not looking for a fight, we're just looking to deter them, I suppose.
Yeah. Right, this.
Well, have you covered? Jesus says, taking out his bow.
Aoife, Yannicka.
I'll try to keep quiet. I'll stay close.
I'll stay behind you, and that should, if you need me, I'm here.
Right. So Wim will kind of head straight towards the clearing and kind of wait until they get in like the pincer position for scouting purposes.
Exactly. Try to stealth on that.
And I'm just gonna try to be quiet on the path.
Sure.
And I'll take up a spot behind the sorceress.
Fuck.
Oh my gosh.
What? Oh man. So that's a 4 on my. No.
To clarify, Dusa went the other direction from me.
Oh, there you go. I'm gonna draw attention away from you.
Sure. What's my stealth for my other witchers?
27.
Wow. Need to put more in my stealth.
I am so happy right now.
Me too.
I'm surprisingly stealthy. Thanks, Broccolon.
Okay, so as Wim goes to the right, as Dusa goes to the left, right? And as Eris goes straight over the small rise into the clearing. Eris, I'm going to give you the view, but everybody sees this as you get into position.
I thought Wim was going up the middle.
Oh, Wim's going up the middle? And then...
Yeah, Wim's like
I'm taking the
staying
flank.
back a little bit to intervene if one of those two gets saw out.
So my intent wasn't to approach. My intent was to stay with Ainfer and Yannicka and approach in case they get discovered. I can come out and be social.
Yeah.
Very good. I misunderstood. Okay, I get you. Okay, so you're not advancing at all. You're just kind of moving to the front of what would be the closest of the group. I got you. Okay.
Mhm.
And so now with the approach of the other two, the pincer maneuver would be Dusa going left and around and Eris going right and around. Is that correct? Okay.
Right.
Just wanted to make sure we had that. And Eris, I'm going to give this one to you first then. As you go around to the right and kind of creep out, your side opens up first. And you see 3 massive humanoids down in what would be the beach of a stream. And there is a stream here, but it's far off, maybe 75 yards away from where this group is gathered. And you see that one of them is kneeling, and it's not a kneeling like you're taking a knee. It's a kneeling like you are both knees on the ground as if in prayer. And you see that these ogres stand anywhere from between 8 and 10 feet tall. And all of them are wearing resplendent red armor. It is red, it is banded, it is wide at the shoulders and fans out, freeing up their massive arms for full mobility. There are plates against their thighs that run the length of probably almost your entire leg from their hip to their knee. And these plates seem to move in an almost effortless flow and kind of slide over top of one another, creating this interlace of protection. They all have massive swords that are out currently, 2 of them laying on large, what look like almost skins. You're not sure of what animal, but laying on the skin and in the blanket, kind of reflecting the sunlight from this clearing. The one is in prayer, and you can see that this one has gray hair that is receded to about the middle of the skull, but it's pulled up in the top of its head like a warrior's knot. It's clean shaven. There is a yellow cast to its skin. The other one is bigger, not necessarily in height, but more like Medusa, more muscular. It's pacing back and forth. You can tell that there's an irritation even from here. Its head is completely shaved, and it has a neck tattoo that seems to creep from the edge of this red armor up the neck and around the back of the head. When it turns, you can see that it's some type of flower in bloom. And the last one has long, dark hair tied in a ponytail, and there is a scar that runs along the left side of its jawline. It's not moving, but it's watching the pacing of the larger and occasionally glancing over at the meditative, still form of the gray-haired one.
2 questions.
Yep.
Immediately. Firstly, can I make a Witcher training to see if I know any specific weaknesses or anything like that? Fantastic. 24.
These are ogres, but you have never, in all of your training and all of your studies, heard of ogres that use, for lack of a better term, civilized armor. You know, hides, clubs seem to be the extent of the simple tools that they use. This is something that you could easily be picked out on the cavalry of Kedwin. Or, you know, this could be something that the Nilfgaardians would use for the Black Guard. This is high quality armor.
It's castle made.
It's extremely tempered, so...
Okay. Ogres themselves, are they susceptible to anything other than the ogreoid oil? Do they not like silver? Do they not like fire? Do I know any of that?
Yeah, mechanically speaking, you would know that silver, they don't act real well with that. Meteorite, they don't act real well with that. Ogreoid oil, that's almost a poison to them. You would also know that traditionally they are slow of wit. And so there's a possibility of exploiting that avenue. However, with the roll that you just made, you're not sure that's applicable here.
Okay. My other check that I would love to make, if I'm able to, can I identify the armor or the markings in any way? Is there anything about it that I would know from sort of a slightly more formal education or having spent some time traveling about?
I was just going to tell you, I will take an education roll for this. This is not Witcher training.
I have that, so... There's 25.
The make of this is something that kind of triggers your memory, and it's not the make so much as... The armor is unique. It's not something that you would see here in the north or even in Nilfgaard that you've ever witnessed. But when you see one of them kind of walk by and expose what looks like a helm, you would see that the helm is almost triangular with a face cut out, with a nose guard that comes down, and 2 large, almost horn-like structures that come up from the top. And you would realize that this is indicative of a style that comes from east of the Blue Mountains. This is a style of armor that's rarely seen here in the north of the continent. If you are right, this is the style of, you're not even sure if it's a country or a city or a region, but it's Peakton.
Okay. Aris is going to take out his weapons of choice, have them at the ready, and is going to sit very comfortably and wait for one of the other two to get closer. He's just not going to reveal his position. That's what he's going to do.
I was just going to say, as you're sitting here kind of formulating all of this and looking at them, you see all 3 of their heads snap and look in the direction of Dusa, or where you saw Dusa go.
I feel like in that moment, like there's an inner monologue between Tears and Aris where he's just like think I owe you some crowns. I figured it would be Wim.
You see them almost, even from this distance, they should be making noise in that armor. But you see the one that's kneeling slowly pick up a helm and put it on. You see the other two slowly bend, pick up helms and put them on. And when the helms are on, they all look almost identical. The only difference is there is a large stripe across the back shoulders of the gray-haired one. And as one, they reach down, and from these almost sunbathing cloths that they had these large swords on, they grab them and pick them up and begin to move in the direction that you know Dusa to be.
Can I try to make a boar call?
Roll me an awareness, Dusa.
Okay, I'm not sure.
It was a real bad stealth.
It was awful.
Yeah.
It's 18.
You kind of get into position, and it's just as you get into position that you kind of turn your awareness to your prey. You're kind of like checking yourself, making sure everything's okay. And as you look up, you see them moving toward you.
Okay. At this point, Dusa, who has some experience leading quarries, he'll try to lead them past Wim, where he last remembers Wim being. Not right past him, but close enough so that Wim might be able to get a look.
Are you leading them with your voice, or are you actually moving to kind of create?
I'm going to try to lead them with my voice, and I'm going to try to make an animal sound, maybe like a boar. I have no idea what sound that makes, but probably something like a pig, like that.
Sure, let's roll me a performance check.
Okay, yeah, he's really good at that. He should be. I mean, he's
He
a
though?
hunter. He's a hunter.
Yeah, but it's empathy.
I know, but I feel like this should be like wilderness survival.
Well, the good news
in a
is
way.
you've had some help from the Legion tonight, so you have a +4 on all of your rolls, everybody.
Oh, fine then. Okay, performance. I didn't say.
no.
I didn't say. All right, well that's. A man tries.
It doesn't have the +4 on it.
It doesn't have the +4, so it's. 11.
I saw that.
11. Okay.
So
Double digits.
So this isn't like Dusa fumbles the boar call. The boar call sounds great. It's just his ability to try to like project and throw his voice, whether it be the woods of Broccolon or it's just not working. As a hunter would kind of throw a call to one side to flush out birds towards them. It just didn't work this time, Dusa. And instead, you see them kind of pinpoint not exactly where you are, but they hear your sound and they all lower and they pull these swords up and begin to move into your position.
Can Wim see any of this?
I'm gonna start the. Yeah.
You hear a boar.
Which we haven't heard like anything, so.
So Wim will
A boar that sounds terrible.
He'll expedite his movement to the sound of the boar.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to move up. You would see everything going on here. Using your earlier stealth roll, as you move up, there's a snap and you see two of these ogres kind of turn towards your position, and then they all immediately move to a triangular shoulder to shoulder to shoulder move as they are back to back to back. But as one, they begin to continue their movement, shuffling or walking backwards or to the side towards Dusa's position.
And then if I see them, I'm going to put my hand out. Hail! I see you've encountered one of our scouts. We're traveling through the woods. We don't mean you any harm. No need for violence.
Oh, me persuasion.
Yikes! Yikes!
Yeah.
Yikes!
Luck.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm gonna dump. First impressions are important. I'm gonna dump 5 of my 6 luck into this roll.
Okay.
Nice, that's fine.
Really?
This session.
This is highs and lows.
This is the best.
This is the best.
Tears
Still a
earlier,
10.
like, are you tears
Still a 10.
earlier? Like, are you cursed? Like, we're all cursed. Tears. We're all
Yeah,
fucking cursed.
exactly.
Look at these rolls.
I hate this forest.
You see that the one that's kind of moving backwards towards Deuce's position does not take his eyes off of you, Wim, but they're continuing to move in that direction. Almost, they're aware, but not engaging. They are, if your words mean anything to them, it's not reflective in their posture or their...
Can
Yes.
I just walk up behind Wim?
Oh, of course, yeah.
I'm gonna stay hidden. I had a real good stealth, but I'm gonna come on.
And she's gonna put her hand on Wim very kindly, staying behind him, but like kind of behind enough that she can be seen, so that she's having conversation, but still keeping the very large Wim as a shield. Do you mind if I attempt this a slightly more? I'll try my way. And she's gonna cast telepathy on him, on the nearest individual.
As soon as you cast, all of them stop, and one of them, you can't tell because of the helm, whispers, "Mage."
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't stop me, and it can't stop me from casting telepathy. And they wouldn't have seen it. I didn't need to show anything to do it.
It doesn't matter. You don't reach them.
Really?
Who were you talking to? Which one were you
Whichever
addressing?
one was in front.
Okay.
Whichever was closest.
Roll me an awareness.
Okay. Because it can't be blocked. Fuck.
Oh my god,
I love
these rolls.
I have a crit fail on a 20, yo.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
It's a 16.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I will give this to you anyway because it's still over a 15.
Is this regular awareness or magical training awareness?
This is awareness. What you would see is, for a moment, the one that you were attempting to cast telepathy on, you see a bounce of electricity between those two horns that are on the helmet.
Jesus. Okay.
So they're dispelling actively? Oh. Well, I was just trying to be polite and have a conversation, but apparently that isn't going to work. How do you do?
And Wim will shout to the woods, "Dusa, make yourself known. We
Right.
mean no harm."
So we'll pop out of a bush and just keep an eye on those ogres.
The one with the black stripe across its back says, "If you mean no harm, throw down your weapons."
How about we both agree that everyone keeps their weapons sheathed? You keep your weapons sheathed. They keep their weapons sheathed. I don't know that Eris has weapons out and I can't see them, so it doesn't matter.
Greg, real quick, send you a DM. And
Conversations.
it's all good. Can I try and move up a little closer so my friends and me aren't super split?
Absolutely, yes.
Fantastic. Fantastic. And what language are they speaking?
They're speaking to you in the common tongue. You're able to...
In elder speech or in northern?
Northern.
Cool. So, how do you do? It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
State your business.
Well, certain individuals in whom this is their home were mildly concerned at your presence. and they asked us to have communication with you.
We will be leaving shortly. We come for the bone knit is all. We have harmed nothing. We have followed the old ways.
What did you ask before you came in?
They would have said no.
I mean, I'm sure... I can't guarantee that they wouldn't have said no, that they might have said yes. I mean, I understand asking forgiveness is sometimes better than asking permission, but they're kind of asked us to deal with the problem. And since now that you are a problem, and we don't want you to be a problem, what do you require for it? And what is your offer to encourage for payment therein, so that they can then begin negotiations peacefully and diplomatically?
We are acquiring bone knit according to the old ways. This at one time was open to anyone from the Blue Mountains East. We are taking advantage of the old contracts.
Greg, would I know anything about such contracts?
Yeah, but this is bullshit because well, it's not bullshit, but this is between the Elven lands and the Dryads. And the Elven lands are now in the Blue Mountains and East. But technically, if we're being like Witcher Esquire here, or we're being attorneys, the lands from the Blue Mountains East, if they live east of the Blue Mountains, then...
Mm-hmm. Now, usually I believe that agreement was with the elves and the Dryads.
It should have been stated as such. We will harm nothing. We will follow the old ways, as the elves would.
She wants to say something, but she doesn't.
Wait a minute. Matt put down Grimjack O'Dim, attorney at law. Thank you, my friend. That made my night. Go ahead.
I support this. You follow the old ways, then?
We do. How many of them are? How many of you are there?
Who you see?
We see 3.
That's who we are.
Roll deception.
Oh my
Oh my god! What is with this?
Oh, draw your weapons, everyone.
Oh,
15!
man.
It is a 15! Bloody hell.
This is the greatest night ever. Okay. The one that Eris would have seen with the long black hair, a bit of it peeking out from behind the red helm, leans backwards and into the other two, the larger and the gray-haired one. And you you hear a whisper that's not meant to be a whisper. There's at least one more on the trail.
So, since you're following the old ways and attempting to do things polite, would you be willing to negotiate an appropriate offering with a representative of them, for whom's forest this is?
Would you be willing to be honorable and tell the truth?
She will step to the side of Wim, but not in front of him, so that she's like fully visible now. And can I roll human perception on an ogre?
Sure.
Just That's a 24.
What did you want to know?
If they are, we already know that they're kind of bending rules to get what they want, but is this something that, are they a threat to the forest or to the people, to us? Are they a threat in general?
You can tell that
Okay.
they appear to have a sense of honor to them.
Mhm.
That just by looking around, you realize that they haven't done anything to harm the forest. It's hard to gauge somebody's future intent. You don't know if they possess the capacity to harm. It would look like they can definitely deal out some violence, but if their manner of the way they've approached you, let me put it to you like this: in a third-party perspective of the past couple seconds, you realize that you all come off as the assholes.
Yeah, she would,
I was just looking for deer.
she'd kind of laugh slightly at that, and, well then, I can possess many forms of honor, but in this particular case, I believe we've skipped introductions. How do you do? My name is Ainfra, and of Magturga, and she does a full court curtsy in front of this ogre.
Then let's do something right. Let's do some social etiquette, please.
Oh.
Yep. 22.
There is a slight relaxation in their hefted blades that they have up, and the one with the gray hair lowers his blade a bit, and with a flourish kind of runs it along his hand and slides it into his waist scabbard, and he says, "Well met. My name is Lord Hoyt Mountain."
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Lord Hoyt. Yes, there are others who watch. Guards, security. We are not familiar with your esteemed self, and we were concerned that it might have been a trap. And when the representatives of the forest asked us to deal with the problem, we didn't want to be, shall we say, caught unawares. As we suddenly lose a whim.
Looks like he was caught unawares.
There you go. Oh,
See, did we?
Hey, there he is.
there he is.
Look at that. Pros they are.
But if you would like, this is my associate, Wim of Gesso. He represents the School of the Bear.
And Wim will kind of bow-ish to the best of his. He's not that great at hinging, but he'll like bend down with an arm out, and then.
He will look at all of you, and again, the one with the black hair that kind of creeps out, the long black hair, the one that whispered that there was somebody else, another whisper would come out, and again, now you're realizing that this is, you can hear this, but this is ogre whispering. It's just loud. And you hear this one say, "He's a witcher." And the bigger one turns and looks over his shoulder. "And he is."
And Dusa came out,
Yeah.
and then she would gesture to Dusa and say,
He'll hold his hand up. I've made a decision. I've forfeited my name, so just call me the Knight.
Yeah.
This is the Knight of Rhilestilen.
No, just the Knight in Black.
Okay. Just this moment of like, she is not phased, but you got like this internal back monologue was like, okay, if I had known this like 3 seconds ago, this would have been better, but okay. I can introduce a representative of the one who could speak for the forest. Closer. But I can do some negotiating for you.
We require no negotiations. We will get the bone knit and we will leave peacefully. The Dryads have not attacked us. They understand that our peace is our intent. Have no fight or quarrel with the woods.
They didn't attack you because they weren't sure if you were actually a threat or not.
We're not.
And then they gave us leave to act in their service as diplomats. How much bone knit are you taking, and for what?
The two, the older and the bigger, turn towards the one with dark hair. And the one with dark hair takes his sword down again along his hand and slides it into his hip scabbard and pulls off his helmet. Just enough, no more.
Enough to what, per se?
Save someone's life.
Oh. Well. Greg?
Yes.
Would, looking at this, is this like, you know, remind me about bone knit. Is this kind of like Fountain of Youth, one swallow, you're good? And it works for everybody that way? Or is there's like, oh, wait, you know, is there like medications based on weight and size?
Oh, no, yeah. It's once you use bone knit one time, it starts the process.
Yeah.
There are other things you can use bone knit for depending upon the injury, but it's not like something you have to like, you know, take 2 bone knit for the next 2 weeks and then, you know, wash it down with some elk's blood. There's none of that stuff. It's, you know, bone knit is like once you use it, if you were going to die, and sometimes even if you just died, it'll bring you back. Like say you got a pitchfork to the gut.
Yeah. But there's that whole portal thing, and she made a mess. Sorry. I have feelings about that. Would you allow me,
Yes, as Matt says, please consult your healer to see if bone knit is right for you.
Well, in this case, Infra very politely turns to the Lord, I guess, is the only person she's been introduced to, and say, give me a moment. I wish to consult with one of the forest. I shall return momentarily. And she's going to step back from Wim, and just kind of as she does, she's going to whisper to Wim, like kind of in her ear, his ear, as
in a non-ogre whisper.
In a non-ogre whisper, don't draw your weapons, but be polite, kind of. And she'd go and kind of step back into the woods and kind of glance around for a Yannicka.
Yannicka rolled a hell of a stealth. So if Yannicka doesn't want to be seen, you're going to have to roll an awareness.
I think Yannicka she's stealthing more so to be not seen from the clearing. So if she goes back onto the path, she'd be able to see Yannicka from behind, kind of thing. Like, you know, you got your front covered, but your back is not as much, kind of thing. But you'd see she has her bow drawn and out.
Yannicka, is there anything? I have not done this in so long.
Put the boat back. Seems we're being cordial. She'll
Yeah.
step out.
And then she'll come and is like, let me do the introductions.
Yeah, I don't like talking.
That works.
But one bonnet for one person, that shouldn't be a problem.
Very
It's about
fine.
as much as we'd needs.
So while she was in the back finding Yannicka, Wim's going to take this opportunity and walk out in the clearing casually, lean up against the tree, and address any one of them who'll respond back. It's beautiful armor. I'm a bit of a connoisseur myself. And he kind of shows his garb. Where does one get armor like that?
And the one with the long black hair that's helm is currently off says, my mother, and then the one with the gray hair says, ha! And he stops.
Have you seen any deer? Good stag deer. Perchance.
The one with the long dark hair says, no, we believe they are keeping the wildlife away from us.
And at that, Infra comes back with Yannicka. Hello again. This is Yannicka. She is the healer. And
Yannicka?
Yep.
I would like you to roll me.
Oh no. A seduction.
Please. No. I would like you.
It's Greg wanting you to do that.
I would like you to roll me a. I'll tell you what. Anything from the empathy tree.
Anything from the empathy tree. Seduction it is. Let's go. No, Hey, I'm Yannicka. Hey, ogres, what's up? Human perception? I don't know.
I'll take whatever you want. I'm giving you dealer's
Yeah.
choice here.
Is this for my introduction or just? Yeah. All right. Wonderful. Well, I only have points in human perception, seduction, and the fine arts. So
Take it any.
I really don't want to seduce a bunch of ogres. So I'm gonna roll fine arts because that is what I got for being an elf. Dang it.
There you
And
go.
I'm gonna come off as elfy as possible.
Elf the shit out of this, yeah.
I'm gonna elf the shit out of this. I'm also gonna spend a little luck.
And you got the +4,
So-
remember, from the Legion.
Yes,
Paul and
this
Hawk
is
gave it
all
to you.
very necessary. I'm gonna spend 3 luck on this fine arts check. So let's see here. Hey, there we go.
Okay.
I'm very elfy.
As soon as you kind of break into the clearing, the largest of the 3, who's looking over his shoulder, takes his sword and draws it along his hand and into his scabbard. All 3 turn to you and take a knee. The helmets come off and they drop their heads.
I'm gonna take fine arts too.
Yannicka is a healer and can in this instance speak for those of the forest.
The one with the gray hair looks up, takes his helm, and has it kind of like a football beneath his arm. We have agreed to the contract that we made. We have harmed no one.
And that has been noted and appreciated. You only need enough bone net to save a life.
As we agreed.
Healer's curiosity. What's wrong?
Roll persuasion.
Okay. That's my super strong suit here. I'm gonna spend another 2 luck because she is very curious. So. Yep. 14.
It is for my wife. That's all he gives you.
Okay. Well, I understand if you don't want to give any details, but if you do change your mind, I'd be more than happy to offer advice on how to treat. I've seen a lot of injuries, illnesses, etc. in my time. Enough bonnet to save a person is completely acceptable.
The one with the dark hair looks up, doesn't meet your eyes, kind of looks at your chin when speaking, and says, Mistress, begging your pardon, we have been searching for 7 years. This is the only way.
Can I think of anything that someone would be in this dire of need for 7 years and not have killed over yet, medically?
Roll me a healing hands or heal knowledge, your knowledge skill, yeah.
Education or healing hands, because that's
This is medicinal, or this is healing based,
Yeah.
so healing
okay.
hands will
So
work
healing
too.
hands, cool.
This is, in all likelihood, if it's lasted this long, a curse.
Interesting. Do I know if bonnet will help with a curse?
You knew more about the curse, maybe.
Okay. It's been going on that long. Sounds more like a curse than an illness. Bonnet may not be enough. Depending.
We make it home in time, it will be, the older one says.
As long as you have the knowledge you need.
If Wim will chime in, if it's a curse, you just so happen to have one with knowledge on how to lift curses. If only, granted, enough information not to pry, just to help.
Roll persuasion.
Burning my last little baby luck on this guy.
That's better than I did.
It's better than I did.
16's really good.
Almost as if not looking or asking or waiting for permission, the one with the longer hair, the dark jet black hair, says, My mother awakes every 5 years. In 2 years' time she will awake. The bone that is applied then, she will not sleep.
Can I roll Witcher training to see if that lines up with any other curse I might know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, magical training for you. And for
Yeah, because like
I saw the lean forward from Brad.
Jeebus.
oh my gosh.
God!
Ainfra! With so many crit fails tonight.
It's insane.
Oh, Ainfra got a 27.
Yeah.
Bill.
Sabotage.
13?
Yeah, I got a 13 on Witcher training, but Ainfra's gonna have more knowledge about this than I would anyways, I think.
Right, and Billy, what it is it's that Wim just simply hasn't heard enough about the curses. But I'll tell you this much, it seems viable. It seems like it's something that could easily be a curse. Ainfra, with your knowledge, this is something that there's many variations of this, and normally it is simply called the sleep. And it's a predetermined period of time, usually denoting the passage between one major life event and another. Sometimes this could be wedding, a birth and death, or wedding and then loss of a spouse, or something of that nature. The fact that the long-haired or the dark-haired ogre told you it was 5 years means, in all likelihood, something happened between that period of time. And so normally what would happen, someone would sleep for 5 years, incapable of being awoken. They can be killed. They can be, destroyed in their sleep, but they can't wake up. But when 5 years are over, they will awaken for whatever period of time the event that caused the curse was. If it was a wedding, they could be up for 3 hours. If it was a battle, they could be up for 12. It just depends upon it. But it's tied to something, a major life event. And that curse then bleeds from the emotions of that moment and generates it specifically for the person cursed.
But I don't think there's a reason that Bone Knit would break the emotions.
Bone Knit can heal, and you would know that if there's anything that could break this curse, a lot of times these curses have a specific kind of like reverse ingredient, a reverse construction. Bone Knit is extremely powerful. It could easily be something that's part of this. You don't dismiss it at all. It sounds viable to you. Yeah, with a 27, it definitely does.
Okay. I apologize that your mother suffers in that way. Hopefully this will be enough to break it. I have one last question for you. There is another, and this is why the Dryads were concerned, who moved through this forest towards this Bone Knit Grove. It took out a scout, a hunting party. Have you seen or heard?
They look at each other. We have seen nothing. No dryads, no wildlife, no beasts. Not since our time in the Blue Mountains.
Well, this thing doesn't belong here either, so I'd keep an eye out.
It's dangerous.
The one with the dark hair, the long dark hair. My name is Sir Lopal. There is something threatening these woods. I will, on my honor, defend it.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Sir Lopal.
Perhaps, young sir, we could get to Bone Knit for you. And if you could help us with this other intruder, come to an arrangement. You have to venture no further. We'll get you the Bone Knit that you need, and you will not incur any sort of stray arrow that may happen from the elves if you move closer.
The one with the shaved head looks up at this whim, and we can get it ourselves. But once we get it, like my brother said, we can help.
Then let's travel together.
No, we must do this alone.
Understood.
If this other intruder poses a much larger threat, he's dispatched an elf scout party. I don't know how many elves you know, but this singular entity, if he did that, what can they do to us?
It's heading towards the Bone Knit fast.
They all kind of look at each other.
And it would be a much more imposing force with our party and your party. Plus, we can ensure your safety.
Everyone gets their Bone Knit and can go.
They all look at one another and rise. And Lord Hoyt nods at the one with the shaved head. My name is Sir Ben Mountain. My brother, Lopal, my father, Lord Hoyt. We will go ahead to the Bone Knit Grove. If there is something, we can press it between us.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having
And,
having been listening to all of this, can
And
I just make
still
a
hidden, yeah.
general? Can I make? I know I suck at it, but can I, like, having spent quite a lot of time listening in,
Yeah.
can I make some kind of check to see how believable I find not the curse and all that business? That's entirely, saying whatever.
Them.
But yeah, do I feel like they will actually help, or are they gonna
Oh, sure.
Are they only interested in their own?
Right, they're trying to
their
get
own
rid of you
selves?
guys. Right. Yeah. Roll me a human perception.
Damn.
I'll tell you this.
That's pretty good for you.
The one that seems the easiest to read is the one with the shaved head. You assume it's a younger one with the long black hair, Lopal. But Ben, the one with the shaved head, seems to kind of wear his emotions on his sleeve, but you don't get any idea that when they state that their honor is at stake with this, that they mean to break it. You get strong conviction in those statements.
And then Wim will kind of walk forward, and he'll take off his gauntleted glove and extend a bare hand, and he'll, by the blood of the bear, I mean to see your task through.
Who are you extending this to?
Voight.
He will take it in a red gauntleted arm that reaches up to your bicep. He is literally 10 feet tall. And he will take it, but he won't. You can tell he's holding back strength a bit, but not so much as to dishonor you. It still hurts when he grabs your arm. But you think he's this old ogre still has a little bit more left. Well met. And your medallion is buzzing on your chest.
And then he'll nod his head, and then put his glove back on. We'll keep an eye out for you.
We will go on ahead. And we will secure the bone knit, and we will guard it. If they are coming, whoever this intruder is, press them against us like a vice. And he takes his fists and puts them together.
And Wim also knows that he has a particular whistle that carries. If we see anything as we begin this, you'll hear one of these. And he'll stick his fingers in his mouth and do a demonstrative wolf whistle.
Lopal, the one with the dark hair, smiles and reaches into his belt and pulls out a long metal tube with finger holes, and he whistles into the flute, and the pitch is almost like your wolf whistle, but he kind of nods and smiles, and you've seen ogres before, but never ones with perfect teeth.
They've got dental.
What's your profession?
We have a hell of a 401k. Very
Excellent.
competitive.
So we'll let them be on our way, but I feel like after we reconvene, we'll have to kind of work out some kinks.
They quickly take off, and you see that they head just up, kind of skirting this river higher up into the rocks, almost like a Snake River Canyon type of situation where they're going up a rock face. You can see their large forms, and they go around the side, and you can hear the rush of water, and it sounds with these rapids and everything that there's likely a waterfall nearby. But they quickly disappear, and you would know that that is the direction that your little pine needle trail goes. That's the direction of the bone net.
I would like to follow them.
Okay.
I'm not going far. I just want to see immediately after they leave if they say anything or if they are proceeding forward in silence. I'm going to, like 100 meters. That's it. And then I'll double back.
Roll me an awareness then.
That'd be a natural one, obviously.
My gosh.
In fact, I feel like we should just roll crit, like the fumbles instead from now on, and just assume that we fail.
Oh my. Sabotage.
That's not that bad, actually.
Yeah.
18.
18's still very good.
It's still a fumble.
You can't hear anything, like you can't put anything together, but you don't hear elevated voices. You don't hear like whispers or hushed, conspiratorial type of talk. And you hear that Lopal at one point, the younger one with the black hair, says, "Fate is with us. We will save Mother yet." And the mountains walk into the mountain.
I head back, and I will emerge from the most unlikely of places, whatever that would be.
A beanbag in a preteen girl's bedroom.
What?
You just pop out.
What is this overly large McDonald's Happy Meal box doing here?
Ball pit?
A ball pit!
Oh man, the Broccolon really does have everything.
A ball pit! That's my favorite. Okay, so yeah, you're all together. And we'll say
move
that
quickly.
we'll say that as soon as Eris gets out, like maybe 5-10 minutes after the mountains have left.
Well then.
Should find whatever this other thing is.
Follow the trail of needles.
Night ogres? Maybe it'll be a gentleman dragon or some such.
Well, I feel like that dragon would have conversed at least with the scout party before he dispatched them, or she.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only aware of one.
We should probably get moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Do my little wilderness survival.
Yeah, if you're rolling wilderness survival, that'd be good.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 26.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop in an awareness, sorry, too, just to keep something out for this third
Yeah,
entity.
for wherever this other thing is.
Sure. Oh, nice, 25.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to track a bit.
Okay.
20.
There are these rolls coming in.
If
Yeah, not a moment too soon.
if they find tracks, I'll make a Witcher training to see if I can identify what we're tracking.
We're gonna say that both Yannicka and Dusa find tracks. And it's strange because you can see the large booted prints of the mountains, Lord Hoyt Mountain and his sons, Ben and Lopal, but kind of on top of those, as if following right behind. Give me a Witcher training, Eris, as you can see an odd depression inside their prints.
Oh no. I have a bad feeling about this.
21.
It's about the same. It's a very strange track. It's moving heel toe, but at the same time, it seems almost. It looks like a boot, but again, if it is booted, it's only about the size of a dryad. But it's moving behind the mountains towards them. Yeah, and Dusa and Yannicka, you're the ones that kind of noticed this indentation. Dusa, you're able to follow it as Wim kind of crests up. I know you're all walking with awareness and you're walking ready to brawl. And as you walk up the area,
I'll
Dusa,
pull my bow out.
yeah,
Yeah, me
Dusa,
too.
you can continue to see both you and Yannicka, this as if this print, this odd print, is hopping from one set of the mountain's large boot prints to the next.
Hopping.
It's using the prints to kind of mask its own prints.
Huh.
I don't like the
Smart.
sound of hopping.
Well, they've got impressive
Smart. It wears
strides.
boots. How heavy does it? It seems like it's as heavy as a dryad. Hmm.
Now see that this is where it's odd because you can't read the depression fully because it's mashed down by the
Because
it's mashed flat by the mountain.
the ground's already compressed.
So you're getting
How
an
long
odd-
is it between each stride?
It can be anywhere from 3 to 6 feet. These are
All right.
big people that are walking along.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try. Do you guys relay this information?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Well, let's try to close the distance. We can give out a signal.
Greg, can I roll magical training? Because
What are you looking for?
something like this should be sighted, be seen, be seeable, right? The creature itself. If it's following, particularly if Eris had come back after following them.
You want to see if there's magic at play to keep it kind of camouflaged. Sure,
Yes.
sure, absolutely. Yeah, and by the way, Prax, if you ever want to do like a broad kind of like a sonar magic thing, the DC is obviously a lot higher. If you're specifically looking at something, I drop it. So, just
Okay. 29.
Yeah, you would definitely feel that whether it would be that kind of taste of magic on the air that several of the Witchers have had in the past when their medallions go off, maybe you've been around them too long, but you can kind of feel it again, that tremor, that imperceptible grasp of the weave, that somebody is using power that, let's face it, should only be reserved for mages.
Can I
Hi, Trooper!
or-
Sorry.
Hi, Trooper.
Yes.
Can she's just gonna step to the side so she's out of line of the Witchers, but so that she has room, and she's gonna walk up maybe just to about who's ever in front, Wim or Dusa.
With
Not
Yannicka.
not getting in front of them, but moving herself there. Can she just cast a spell in front of her?
Absolutely, sure.
Hmm.
So that's a crit for
Yes.
37.
Or
42.
Oh my god.
So with a 42, which is amazing, when you dispel what's in front of you, Broccolon itself isn't the worse for wear from all of this, even being a very magical place. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
she would be like, I know what I'm trying to do.
Right,
and
right.
she's not trying to target Broccolon in any
right,
way.
you're not carpet bombing. You're surgical strike, right? So as you do this, kind of like this sonar pulse in front of you, the one thing about Broccolon is the way that time works here is different. Light travels faster when Broccolon wants it to. The light travels slower when it wants it to. So when you dispel in front of you, even though you're being very precise, it doesn't harm the forest at all. But what it causes is, and we're going to have this simultaneous to Billy's earlier awareness roll. As you all are creeping up, you round the same curve that the mountains went around, and you hear the roar of the waterfall. And as you get up to the top and you cast your dispel in front of you to reveal anything that may be veiled because of magic or arcane trickery, It reveals nothing that's there now, but something that was there moments before. And you see the outline of a figure with naked from the waist up, a beautiful woman with horns sprouting from her head and curling around and back, and from the waist down, furred and cloven feet. They were not boots. And Billy, as Wim, I'll go ahead and let you all see this and let everybody else see this. As soon as you all creep around and see the waterfall pouring down, you see that there is a old bridge made by some intrepid explorer that goes from where you are over the water to a rock island where stands Lopal Mountain, helmet off, his eyes red, that goes over to another rock island where Bin Mountain, his eyes red, stares, and finally to a rock face where Lord Hoyt Mountain stares, his eyes red. And at the final resting place among the grove of the Bone Knit, a succubus awaits. And that is where we will end this session of the Witcher Family of Wraiths. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's back.
Nice.
Awesome, everybody. Let's go around and say goodnight to everybody and to thank, first off, everybody in chat. Thank you for being amazing and awesome. Paul, thank you so much for the donations. Hawk, thank you so much for the donations. You helped out, even though the Roll20 gods were against some of our players tonight. That is what makes good stories. And I get to dance every once in a while because I think it's fun. But I have a great cast. They are fantastic and amazing RPers to take everything in stride. Let's go around in reverse order. Prax, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And how are you enjoying lovely Broccolon Forest?
I'm having a lot of fun in Broccolon. I don't know that Ainfra's having fun in Broccolon. I don't. Also, I don't think Ainfra's really going to enjoy the fact that she's here against 3 Witchers and with a succubus. This will be great. But hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter, or Praxagora Thesmiophoria, as you see me hanging around on Twitch. And tomorrow over on my channel in the morning, we are back with Classics on Twitch as we do Ainfra Beans, Emperor of the Moon. Farce, all the farce. Just farce is a wonderful thing that's happening. Then tomorrow night over on Wandering DM for hashtag Thirsty Thursdays for Dragon Age, because it's Dragon Age, why not? And then Friday, back on my channel again in the morning, 11 a.m. Eastern for Shakespeare's Measure for Measure and more farce fun times. And then over on Wandering DM tomorrow night for Friday night, for Cyberpunk Red. It's our finale for this first season. And then on Saturday, we have the Session 0 premiere of a new game that I am running. We're combining. We're running Rapscallion. We're having pirates. There be pirates, y'all.
Awesome.
So come check that out. All of the things will be posted on my Twitter. It's always great. I love check out all the fun things that happen there. And we'll see you next time. It'll be fun.
Yay! And speaking of super fun, let us go down to Billy. Billy, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And are you happy with your experience in Broccolon Forest? This is a survey you're filling out for the local Dryad community travel
agency.
Yeah.
Wim is having a great time, and he's thinking, I was like, oh man, this would be a great place to retire. But Witchers don't retire, no matter what you may hear. Once you think you're out, they just pull you back in. Yeah, Whimsy, this is great. I love all this. Really excited to. I feel like a lot of these monster designs are like, I don't know, let's say somebody of us knew all of the builds of all of our characters, and let's say someone knew how best to, I don't know, like, it's like you're getting with this kind of encounter, I'm feeling like you're really planning for our Achilles torso here. But I'm looking forward to it. The systems in this game are amazing. The storytelling in this game is amazing. The chat and the Legion are so supportive and awesome and want to tell this story with us, which is so cool to have like a positively interacting group of people who are on board this with us. So thank you all. Thank you everyone watching on VOD. Thanks to my awesome cast, and for Greg for putting on a masterclass in storytelling. Really appreciate that. If you like the internet, you can follow me at Bill of the Forest on Twitter. If that's not your thing, cool. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Lindy, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being super beautiful and refreshing, how would you score your time in Brokilon Forest?
Well, as of currently, it would be a 5. However, I see a heckin' lot of water in front of us and a succubus. I think our go-to strategy here is to use my low empathy, but actual points in seduction, and I will seduce the succubus while you all take her out. Countermeasures, it'll be fine. Take one for the team,
Legit, yeah.
Who knows? We'll see what actually happens next week. You can find me online, pining away for next Wednesday at Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. This is super fun. You can find our Aliens game, our once a month. It's gonna be twice this month because just fucking April was crazy and nothing worked out. So you'll find us this Friday for Shoresies on my channel this evening Friday evening for Aliens, and then Saturday you'll find me playing Pirates with Prax. So that'll be fun, along with my regular stuff. Just follow my Twitter for stuff, and if you like cool stuff here with me and Greg and another member of Family of Wraiths, you can find us on Friday for Aether's Walkway with Trooper, me and Greg.
Oh, I can't wait. Let's jump over to Josh. Josh, my friend, how are you? Where can we find you online? And would you recommend Brokilon Forest to a friend?
Absolutely, Greg. 100%. It's this is genuinely one of Aris's favorite places we've been so far. He can't stay here, but he loves this place. This place is amazing. And he completely agrees that he has no business being here. But that's kind of part of the charm and appeal, I suppose. I don't know about you guys, but I plan on retiring east of the Blue Mountains with the ogres. Seems like they've got their shit together. They're coming over here. They look like they've got dental. They're all well put together. They're all very honorable.
Teeth are better than mine.
Nilfgaard is smashing into things, and terrible things are happening. There's all this end of the world. Ogres are where it's at. Speaking of where it's at, you can find me on Twitter at roleplayers_TV. Where I post where I'm going to be on Friday. I'm going to be over on the Encounter Roleplays playing Jacob Prince, who is last episode of Haunting of Steel Orphanage. A lot of stuff happened. If you're not up to date, I won't spoil anything, but let's just say we've come full circle, and not just because of timey-wimey things, just because we are terrible individuals, and honestly, we make it worse for ourselves every fucking session. We've only ourselves to blame, and that's entirely on us. But yeah, follow me on Twitter and I'll tell you where I'm going to be.
Fantastic, buddy. And finally, last but certainly not least, JF, how are you? Where can we find you online? And congratulations, I would like to let you know that you are eligible to get a timeshare here in beautiful Brokilon Forest.
Really?
Yeah. So I have 12
awesome news.
forms for you to fill out, and then
yeah, okay. Yeah, Broccolon is paradise for Dusa. Not for me as a player, because we got way too many fumbles in this place. But yeah, Dryads for Dusa, that's great. Succubus, I'm not sure yet. It was a roller coaster of a game, honestly, in terms of statistics. Also, the Red Deer Stag. I'm happy I got to introduce that as Dusa's fixation because, sorry guys, doing it again. As Dusa's fixation because that was the holiest of all medieval praise, by all accounts. Very hard to find. And I'm happy that it wasn't the stag who killed all those archers. Friday, I'm on City of Light and Shadows with Trooper. We're doing our solo this Friday. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm playing someone quite different from Dusa, a young, sensitive man. So try it out. And that's it for me. Thank you, Greg, and thank you all.
Oh, thank you, buddy. And as for me, I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. Tales from the Grim here on the Twitch. A lot of fun things coming up. On Friday, we have the aforementioned Aether's Walkway, which is our second episode. Great cast. Lindy, myself. We have GM'd by the fantastic Alice from Scraticus Academy, who we will be raiding soon. And, oh my goodness, everybody, hold on. Let me check and see. Let me do our giveaway real quick. And I always forget. Doc! There we go. Congratulations, winner of the PDF. Yay! Contact me on Twitter at Grimjack21502, and I will make sure that our Tausorian Games, our lovely sponsor, sends you a copy of the PDF. It is fantastic, it is up to date, and it's a good read, which is really odd for a rule book. There's a couple of them out there that are fun to read. This one's really fun to read. Anyway, yes, we have Aether's Walkway, which is GM'd by the fantastic Alice from Scraticus Academy. It's absolutely fantastic. It's Fifth Element meets Blade Runner. It's a world of pure imagination. Can't wait, can't wait, can't wait. And then a week from Sunday, we will have our wonderful conclusion to our Capers mini campaign, Off-World, the Seraphim Station. So join us for that. We have a one thing getting ready to be announced, which is going to be fun. And we also have the return of our Marvel and DC comic book writers next Thursday night for the end of our trilogy of Avengers Until the End of the World, where I think we're taking on Doctor Doom, which is great because I get to play Tony Stark, which is fun. But anywho, your Capers costume came in today. Yay, Trooper. Let's see. Anything else I need to talk about? The only thing I need to talk about is this. I'm surrounded by fantastic folks here. I am blessed to play with some of the nicest people on the planet, and Legion, that includes everybody that contributes to this game with their passion and their comments. If you're just watching the game on YouTube or on live here with us on Twitch or Avad, thank you so much for doing so. Honest to God, it means a lot to us. Your comments mean a ton to us. When we see them on YouTube and we see you on chat, engaged in the story and asking questions about the characters, it's fantastic, and it speaks a lot to the collaborative narrative that's being built here. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. This is a hard time for a lot of people, so my one recommendation is tonight, as it always is, follow JF, follow Josh, follow Lindy, follow Billy, follow Prax, follow Trooper, follow Hawk, follow Matt, follow all of these fantastic people that are in the Legion and part of the family of Wraiths family, because you won't be sorry. We need happiness, we need good storytellers. You can get them both. It's a twofer every time you hit that follow button for one of these folks. And with that, we'll see you next week. And as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, especially in this game, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, friends.